Abigail here with another candle wax reading. This one is going to be for messages from Spirit that you need to hear right now. This is a timeless collective reading, so take what you need, leave what doesn't resonate, and when this finds you, it is the right time to watch and to take in the messages from Spirit. So we'll get into this. Take a moment to center yourself and to take some deep breaths while I light the candle, calling in ancestors and spirit guides, any deities you might work with, any family members you might need to hear from or to connect with, anyone who might have an important message for you. And invite them all in. Yeah, and this is messages from Spirit that you need to hear right now. See what the wax has to offer today. Yeah, so we're starting to get a little figure. It's actually kind of cute. It's like a little person like waving. So I think for some of you, this is an ancestor you might know. It might be a spirit guide that's been trying to reach out to you. They're really excited that you've chosen to listen today and that they're going to get to share their message. We also have a little duck, a little baby duck. For some of you, this might be your first reading. This also might be kind of an invitation to go a little deeper into your spiritual practice, to tap into some of your psychic gifts, to get in the water, as it were, and kind of swim around for the first time, or maybe just rejuvenate your current practice. Let's see. What do we have here? We have a little bit of a phallic shape, if you will, but not in its rigid form. So there's something that's been kind of on your mind, that's been percolating, that needs to be paid attention to and, well, stimulated, as it were. Something you've been thinking about doing, and you're being asked to start really getting boots on the ground when it comes to this thing. There's also two figures here. So for some of you, this is about love and connection. If you are hoping for a partner or wishing for a partner, or if you have one and things are a little funky, pardon me, sorry, a little funky or feeling a bit down, there's a message here about renewed connection and coming to a space and time where you're going to come to an understanding. And for those of you who are single, this is about meeting someone new pretty soon. I would say within the next 3 months, someone's coming in. Yeah, next 3 months, someone is coming in, someone who is excited to talk to you, someone who really cares and loves you. If you felt that your partner's been a bit off, if you aren't single, this is encouragement to have a conversation with your current partner, to talk about desire and things like that. There's also a figure here kind of in a cow-cat position with yoga. So some of you need to get your bodies moving. Some of you need to stretch and engage your core and really just connect to where you are and what you are feeling right now. There's also a Chinese lion over here. A lot of you have been through a really kind of long stretch of endurance, and there's a period of good luck coming up where some stuff is really going to go right, but a lot of it has to do with you being courageous enough to believe that the right thing is going to happen at the right time, and trusting in your guides and in the energy of who you are and your own desires. That's kind of the starting point, and Spirit will take it from there. Okay. What else? So yeah, we have this little guy here. I'm waiting to see what develops. It's like a girl kneeling. For some of you, there is a need to really step into some sort of veneration practice with a deity, or a manifestation practice where you truly ask for what you want. I think this does tie into the relational stuff we were talking about early, like being really direct if you have a current partner with what you want, being really clear with spirit with what you want if you are seeking out a partner. And also believing that, like, if you have a specific vision for yourself, if you know the type of person that you like, even if it doesn't come quite in the exact form that you desire, the universe isn't gonna like send you an uggo or like only give you someone and for you to accept that isn't quite what will meet your needs. So don't accept anything less, is what they're saying. They're saying some people who are a little less might show up first as a bit of a test, but don't accept less. This goes for people who are also in relationships. We have another standing figure here. Looks like they have like a little muff. Some of you are seeing this in the winter. I think the timeline might be a little faster. It might be a little quicker than 3 months. So thinking 3 weeks, 1 month, but this is only if you see this in the winter. We also have a fishtail in here. It goes back to kind of the deck we had earlier on of like diving deeper into a spiritual practice, connecting more to magic and your own personal energy. No, it doesn't mean you have to become a psychic or a witch, but especially with the times that we live in and the energies that we're currently experiencing, being really attuned to your intuition is going to be really helpful. And, if you're coming here to like hear from your guides, you have some kind of connection and they really want you to foster that. So for some of you, because I'm getting kind of like a table heaped with food, you need to feed your ancestors, whether that be something like water or sugar. So like honey is a really good option. Or like actual food substances. There's something about needing to have a deeper practice with ancestor and with spirit and really like helping them help you. There's also an M here. So if there's a person in your life with the name M, or if you see or meet someone with the name M or go to a restaurant with the name M, this is a sign that you're on the right path. There's also an O and an A, so those names are important as well. Keep your eyes peeled for those as signs. Doesn't necessarily mean like if we're talking romance that this person has that name, but seeing people with that name, it's kind of like a little like green flag on your path forward. Okay. I feel like we're switching gears maybe a little. Give me a second to listen to what Spirit has to say. We have kind of a stork in here, so for some of you, the next 6 months is going to bring pregnancy or birth. This is a very small group of you. Also, if you've been struggling with fertility, I'm getting the message that you should reach out to your spirit baby. I have a video, I think, from last year about that you can kind of dig up, and there's plenty of other people who talk about it. But you need to connect with the soul of your child who's coming in. Yeah, we have a pregnancy belly here. And for those of you who it's not about children, it's about birthing an idea or a thought or connecting to something greater and, kind of building something that you will eventually release and let go into the world to kind of become a creature of its own. But it's a creative project you're going to start. We also have a camel here. So some of you have been through it. You've been in the desert. And you've been surviving off of a lot of low energy, but that hump just kind of burst, if you noticed in here. And it feels like there is a time of abundance, like I mentioned earlier, coming forward, specifically in like a 3-month period. I also find in readings like this, a lot of things come in like 3s, 9s, 6s, 12s. So yeah, hang in there, keep fighting the good fight. Hold on to the things you're really going for right now. Anything else we should know about what's coming up? Yeah, there's a pointer finger here. You might be missing something. There might be a piece of information that you kind of need to move forward. It also might be closure from a past relationship or from a friendship, but there's something that the spirit wants you to notice. And this is a personal dialogue between you and spirit, that you pay attention to what they're saying, that you listen to the signs and the synchronicities. There's also a bat in here. For some of you, this is going to happen in sort of a weird timeline. It's not going to happen in the light of day. maybe quite literally, but also figuratively in the sense of like you're going to be crafting whatever you're crafting alone for a while. And some of you have, and in the next 3 months, it's kind of time to, release things to where people can touch, feel, interact with, see, engage with your work with their senses, whether it be writing, whether it be something in the arts. But the time is coming to really, push yourself and get out there. We also have an angel here. Some of you are called to angel work, to connect to angels. Also, a little message that like your guardian angel is here. Oh, and it just burst, but there was a heart. I don't know if you can quite see it here, but there's a little heart here. And that feels like your desires that you're seeking right now, the desire for love, the desire for connection, the desire for community. Your angels are going to help you achieve that. But you have to kind of trust and believe that they will bring what is right for you. Um, and there's a message of like try to cull your anxiety as much as you can. Like we can't get rid of it completely, but you know, also maybe don't feed into it. I have a little bunny here, two little bunny ears, another little smaller bunny. You know, there's also a great opportunity for friendship and finding people with similar interests. For some of you, you need to join a group where there are similar interests. Um, if you are a mom, because there's a smaller bunny over here, then this is about trying to find a group of parents to kind of create community with, especially if you're feeling burnt out. Um, so you know, keep looking, it's coming. This is funny. We have the head of a jackalope here. A jackalope is like a funny haha mystical creature from the west of the US, and something is not quite as it seems. It used to be used and still can be to like make tourists to the quote unquote wild west like believe in a mythical animal. So something's not quite as it seems. Someone's not quite telling you the whole truth. You're being fed some old wives' tales. So really trust your intuition on that, and believe what your own research and your own understanding. Slow this candle down for a minute because they're sending messages faster than I can take them. Um, we also have a couple here where someone is holding the other one, and in my mind's eye, I can see them dancing and spinning around. For those of you who are really desperate for care, for love, for connection, for romance, it is closer than you think. And it's not just someone, it is someone who's going to be in your life for a long time, someone who is really meaningful to you, someone who celebrates who you are and wants to share in the joy of who and what you are as a person. So I'm sensing some of you are like losing hope that you're going to find your someone if that is something you truly desire. They are coming. They are closer than you think. Make sure, because this comes up in like my actual readings with clients a lot, make sure that if you want to meet someone that you're outside. This goes for me too. You have to get out to meet, the love of your life, unless you're expecting them to like be the delivery man, which will be also be fine, but really narrows your scope of romance. So just know that it is closer. And for those of you who are feeling really sad and desperate for connection, it's okay to want those things. It's okay to desire care. It's okay to desire family and love. And it's going to be coming. It's, like I said, closer than you think, even though I know waiting is really, really hard. All right. Who do we have here? Oh, over here. Things forming. This is some kind of very specific fire spirit. I think it might be the spirit of the wax. Um, Coming in directly and saying that some of you might need to dabble in wax reading. So try it out. Um, there's been calls for the past few years specifically for people to join and to get more involved in certain forms of divination, and the spirit groups who kind of, I don't know if control is the right word, but govern these things are asking a very small subset of you to really start to explore different kinds of divination. And it doesn't have to mean you have to do it, but maybe watch more wax readings on YouTube. Blush Lily is a wax reader I really love, and also inspired me to start learning to wax read. So you can check out her stuff. She does a lot of stuff on love and spouse readings. We have an anatomical heart here. For some of you, this isn't medical advice, but if you've been having certain things, go see a doctor. Never hurts to go get your heart checked up on if things feel a little funky, if you feel a bit sluggish. Um, let's see. This is actually really beautiful. So out of this heart is growing like more organs, and the organs are kind of like turning into different plants. And it's a whole ecosystem. And I think for some of us, we've been in like a time of healing and a time of recovery from maybe a difficult situation or a breakup or, an implosion of our life. And what the wax reading here is saying is like, you are going to grow out of these experiences. You are going to become more, and you are going to build some really beautiful and magical connections and things. So, you know, the healing phase is just the beginning. The coming to terms with the past is just the beginning. You are coming into a time where it's not just kind of catch up, like bandaging, but true and genuine growth. I have a little elephant head here. This is a little reminder that, like, remember the harm people have caused you. Um, if you don't hold grudges, you don't have to, but sometimes we forget the hurt people do, and we end up letting them hurt us again. It's not a call to be suspicious, but it's a call to remember, how we've been treated in the past and to protect ourselves. Um, yeah, we have a figure here in a dress. Um, some of you, it's time to buy yourself something nice. It's time to try something new, to expand on your style. This is going to be a part of your manifestation. We talked about that a little earlier about needing to manifest more specifically, using clothes to align with energy. And another shout out, Anthony Perrotta does astrological guidance for fashion and style, but it feels like you need to start dressing for the energy, start dressing maybe with the color of the day of the week based on its planetary association and things like that. A little white face out here. For some of you, there is a spirit that wants to reach out and work with you. It is up to you if you want to work with them, but they are definitely reaching out and wanting to do some sort of work. Spirits and ancestors, I always find them to be super focused on getting the job done and wanting to help. So there's absolutely use them to help figure out what you want. We also have the head of a child here. This does go back to, some of you getting pregnant and some of you needing to connect with your spirit baby, but it's also a call back to those who are not interested in that, to connect with your inner child, to connect with your desires and your dreams, and maybe to go into the past and see if there's something about your childhood that you could either heal or could bring into the future as something that you get to re enjoy, that you get to re experience. Let's see. Okay. Where are we headed? Oh, we have the head of a dragon right in here. Um, this is very karmically related. This is also very related to the eclipses. I would encourage you to look up when the eclipses are when you see this. As I'm recording, we have just come out of eclipse season, but this will be based on whenever you see this reading. So definitely check when you see this. I also think for some of you, you will see this in an eclipse season. We have a hair here. Things are going to be speeding up. I do think there's a delay of a couple of weeks before you're going to start to see things gear up. So, do kind of the tending things you can do to your energy and your spirit to prepare yourself for a pickup in speed for moving forward in life. This is now turned into a ram. Some of you might be feeling like giving up on your dreams, whether it's dreams of partnership or dreams of a certain career or dreams of, a life you want to have or a connection you desire, and they're saying, don't give up, hang in there. Sometimes we do have to walk away from our dreams, but this is not one of those moments. Um, hang on. If after 3 months it's still not working after this reading, you can ditch it, but something important is going to happen. So don't give up on it just yet. Something's going to give. I'm hearing. All right. A little bit of different perspective. Some of you might actually work with fae or fairies. I'm getting kind of an image of that, or even aliens. Um, so if this really resonates, look into that. I will just warn you, they are tricky, so do your research before engaging with them. They are the good people, and we call them that for a reason. Look up why. Yeah, we have another kind of flaccid moment here. Um, you need to raise the energy. You need to work on doing a good way to do it is dancing, listening to music. If you do spell work, they're saying that you need a bit more oomph behind it. So, dancing, fire, singing, anything that gets energy up and they're like, add that to your workings. It's going to help speed them up and give you quicker results, especially on kind of like short term goals. Yeah, and we have a person here with our hands outstretched. I feel like a lot of you have been manifesting for a long time. A lot of you have been working really hard on something, and it just really feels like the universe um, is not listening. You're starting to feel like a small Victorian child, being like, Lisa, can I have some more? Um, the universe is saying that those things are coming in, they're just not going to fall into your hands. They are literally going to drop right on your head. So, like, out of the blue, good things are coming. And it's going to be a bit of a shock and a surprise. It's not going to be the way in which you expect, but it is going to be better than you expected when you receive it. And we have a horse head here. A reminder. I'm not going to speak much on it because I'm not a Chinese astrologer, but a reminder that we are in the year of the horse. There is a need for connection and care and movement and bravery that we will require. And I think for a lot of us, especially what I'm kind of feeling right now, we're very worn out. But the movement is from the universe. So it's about asking the universe for more energy, more support. It feels like a lot of your guides and ancestors want to give you stuff, but you haven't asked. And that's kind of an important part of um, spiritual work is having the courage and the, cojones to just be clear about your desires and your dreams and what you want. Um, there's a little kitty here. I see little ears and a little tail. For some of you, there's a kitten coming into your life. For others, your spirit guide comes in the form of a cat. So that is a sign to you that they are reaching out when you see one. And if you have one, sit near them when you connect, and that will help you connect more clearly with your guides. All right. Let's see. Feeling a little bit of a change of pace coming in. Let's take a moment to redirect. Where are we headed? Yeah, there's kind of like a maiden coming up in here. This is specifically for my older folks. Some of you need to just wear what you want. You are a maiden in your soul, whether you are identify as male, female, queer, whatever, woman, man. Wear what you want, dress how you want. If you want to dress like a middle schooler, dress like a middle schooler. If you want to dress like a vampire queen, dress like a vampire queen. Some of you are holding yourselves back when it comes to your clothes. And some of you specifically are holding back because of your age. Screw that. Wear what you want. Life is too short. Embrace who you are. If you are younger, this is also a thing to be like, don't care about what people say, don't care about what the fashion standard is. Wear what makes you happy and what makes you comfy. Um, Wondered when it would show up. We have the axolotl. Almost every single reading I do, I get an axolotl. There's a deep spiritual power and understanding. It's a little silly, goofy. It's not going to make sense, but there is a connection here. And the wax readings I know can be really kind of quixotic and and all over the place. But in this reading, there's something really, really deep and powerful for you, and there's tons of creative energy and creative value in the work that you do. So lean into it. Be brave. Be fiery. Um, we also have a Tasmanian devil over here. Um, their tail and their kind of little creatureness, be fierce. It does feel like um, in this kind of pursuance of your dreams in the next 3 months, you're going to have to be a bit spicy to some people who want to like downplay your accomplishments or say it's not possible or try to like tell you how things work. Fun fact, no one knows how things work. We're in unprecedented times, as we all know, and none of the old ways are going to work. So stand up for yourself, follow your instinct when it comes to the work you want to do. Um, we have a water bird in here, and this really ties back to the fish earlier and the duck. This one looks more like one of those diving birds, like a loon or something. Um, you're going to have to dig deep to find the answers. You're going to have to dig deep to connect to your purpose. And you're going to have to be brave enough to do so, which has been a theme throughout this reading. And so maybe you can't swim in the abyss all the time, but take a dive when you have space, when you have time, when you have a moment, meditate, connect to your guides and spirit, leave space maybe right before you fall asleep, which is a really energetically heightened time to like talk to your energies and to, the guides that are on your side. We also have another ram, and this time this one's leaping and with its head down, moving forward. Um, when it comes to manifestation, it's not all about it coming to you. It's about you manifesting the tools to like break down a door. It's not like the door is always going to open. It's about you pushing the envelope and believing in yourself. I think sometimes we believe manifestation is like putting our hands out and going, Daddy, please, and then Daddy giving it to us. But manifestation comes in all different shapes and sizes. It's really dependent on your natal chart. I would encourage getting an astrology reading if you're struggling to know how to manifest best. I do that type of reading. There are other astrologers who do that type of reading, but finding like how best to harness your spiritual gifts, how best to move forward, what type of approach is best for you to use. All those things can be found in an astrology reading or even in a channeled mediumship reading as well. All right, we have a little bit of time left. Another indication that O is important, which we talked about earlier when we said O, M, and A. I am starting to feel the energy run dry. We'll see. What are the final messages for us? There's a little figure here holding his back. For some of you, you might be in pain or struggling with pain. Really encourage you to get that looked into. It is not normal as someone who has chronic pain to be in pain all the time. So if you don't have a diagnosis, you should go seek one out. Also, the figure now has a hat. Whatever time of year it is, sun protection, folks. Keep that skin fresh, regardless of how much melanin you have. Wear sunscreen, hydrate. I really love this. There's like a bunch of hair flowing back. A real sense of freedom is coming, and it's going to permeate every single portion of your life, every aspect. You are going to be wild and free. Also, for some of you, specifically in your 30s and late 20s, and maybe even a little bit in your early 20s, if you're watching this. And even if you're a little older, there's also a message of like, don't wait till you're like older to like not give a fuck. Or like, it is not worth it to care about what people think. It is not worth it to give credence to people's opinions who don't have a life that you would want. Let it all go. We also have a mermaid here. Um, you are magical, you are divine, you have unique gifts and beauties. In beauty, you are going to find your fellow mermaids. You are going to connect to spirit in a way you never have before in the next few months. Um, there's a magical journey that is going to spur the material journey. And if you can get the inner world kind of ticking over and connected, the outer world will follow, even in times like these, which I know feel real impossible. We still need our dreams, guys. All right, a few more drops before this gets too toasty for my fingers. But yeah, actually, I feel like this is where to end the reading, or at least to blow the candle out. A lot of pretty smoke. Got a little second. Let me see what we have. If there's anything else, get a little dunk maybe to cool it off. Pardon, just a little bit. We have like a little lion face in here. Um, Going back to, the Chinese lion we saw earlier. This one's a little more of like a traditional one. It kind of reminds me of the Newark Lions at the New York Public Library. But courage is required. Your manifestations need courage and need bravery. You have to. I actually use this analogy. I also teach singing analogy when like you phonate and you make the first sound. It's like the breath and the sound meet like, an airplane meeting a runway. And with manifestation, it is your action meeting the energy. And that's what sparks it. It's not just asking for things, it's about moving the energy. And so it requires courage, it requires bravery, especially if you are manifesting a family or a partner or any type of friendship or like family connection. You have to be brave, brave enough to do it. There's also a female figure here. For some of you, there is a goddess you need to work with. I'm getting Celtic, Micronesia, Mesopotamian goddesses. They're calling out to you. Um, this one has fabulous hair, so maybe that's a signal. But she is in side profile, so you also, maybe some of you need to get a statue of whatever deity you worship. Time is soon. Um, yeah, there's a little foot here. For some of you, you need to tend to the magic of your feet. Feet are a really spiritual part of the body. When I do Reiki, I always ground the feet, which is not something everyone does. Some of you need to do a foot wash. Some of you need a foot massage or um, pedicure. Just some tending to your feet, especially since your feet are going to carry you through to your desires. So that's for some of you to go take care of your feet. I think it's also a message to me to do some spiritual work around my feet. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of hope in this reading. There's a lot of magical stuff coming for the folks who are listening to this. Is it going to happen all at once? Not necessarily, but in the next 3 months, you're going to get the beginnings of the things that you want. You're going to meet someone, you're going to have a breakthrough in your creativity or in your business. For some of you, I'm also getting you're going to meet like a really influential person in your life that's not necessarily romantic, maybe like a mentor or something. So, yeah, there's a lot of hope. I think the takeaway is a need to connect in order to get these things. What you need to do is to connect spiritually, to tune up your spiritual hygiene, to really raise the energy around the work and desires you have, just to push things forward a little faster, especially if you want it to happen in that 3-month time frame that came through earlier on. Anyways, my dears, that is my wax reading for you. I hope it was helpful. I hope that you got some magical hope and guidance and support out of it. And I want to thank all the guides and deities and spirits who came forward. And the angel that I saw when it comes to love, that's really important for some of you to connect to angels for help. They come in all different shapes and sizes. They are not necessarily related to Christianity. They are beings who are here to help in the chaotic energy of mankind. Put it that way. So, for some of you, very important to reach out to an angel or to start a practice of venerating an angel or working with an angel. Anyways, that's all I have for you. I hope you guys have a lovely day, evening, morning, night, whenever you see this, and I will see you later. Bye.